What's up everybody? It's time for the monthly Chroma Bloom and Blight update video. I have a bunch of cool stuff to show you today, but before I do, I want to give you the usual warning that everything you're about to see is a game that's in the middle of development, meaning we are in all likelihood going to encounter some bugs, but hopefully you can see where we're headed with all of this. So we're gonna just go ahead and get into it. Here's our new main menu. You can see it looks quite a bit different. I quite like the way it looks. It's definitely a lot lighter on the UI and just kind of a bit smoother. It's not finished. The finished version will look something like this, where you can see we have the bottom left corner where you can see your battle pass, and this right here will be sort of like a pop-up menu where you can show stuff. Right, so this is going to be closer to the finished version. Right now, again, it's in the middle of being implemented, so that makes it a little bit, work in progress. We're going to go into a match right now. Just a casual single player against the AI. We have done a few changes to the gameplay. You can see right here, we've got a big pop-up, Act 1. So, at the end of the Kickstarter, I made a video in which I explained what our plans were going forward with Chroma's gameplay and what we're going to change. One of the things that we have changed is we have completely reworked the map, as you can see. This is a completely new map made from scratch. On this new map, you can see that now these spots where you can place your permanents are marked, as opposed to before they were sort of dynamic. That's because it is now possible to just place things in those specific locations, right? So I can place this guy over here in the corner, and then if I want to, I can even I can go ahead and grab myself this fella, and well, I'll go ahead. Bot is really, nope, yeah, shoot that, sure, why not? And I can take this fella and put it all the way over here, right? So you can see that positioning has become something that is a very ingrained part of the game now, and there will be many cards that will be using positioning and kind of a movement of cards and so on. These cards are not in the game yet. That's because over the past month we have mostly centered our attention on improving the back end of Chroma. That is to create better infrastructure for servers and also to just kind of make future implementation of cards and features faster and easier. As a result, there haven't really been many new cards implemented, and that has, that's just kind of the thing. There's a lot of cards that have been developed. There's been tons of design work done on the background, artwork as well, but they just haven't been put into the game yet. That's because we're working on the infrastructure in the back end. But that work is slowly coming to a close, so we'll be able to actually start implementing all of these cards. Anyway, how do acts work? You can see over here on the left side, we have AC, the act counter. Don't worry, this is all getting better UI soon. This act counter indicates how far through the act you have progressed. Once it hits 30, the acts will transition from Act 1 into Act 2. Every time you play a card, it increases by 1, and then every time you end a turn, it increases by 1. So you can see now it goes up to 10. But my opponent plays a card, it goes up to 11. So you can see it progresses, but it doesn't progress super fast. So it's supposed to kind of last a few turns. Now, you can see that the UI has been changed quite a lot in terms of how things are positioned on the board. That's because we got a lot of feedback from people that said, well, you know, the board kind of reminds me a lot of Hearthstone, and I understand that. We went with that kind of style because we felt it was easy for people to get used to it, right? And we felt it was easy for people to just understand, oh, okay, so that's how it works. I'm familiar with these elements. But it seemed that people still were more keen on actually getting something unique. So again, we have completely redesigned the board from scratch. You can see now the heroes are on the top right and the bottom left corner, as well as all of their abilities, their mana pool, and their health. And yeah, you attack your opponent like this, but we understand that this is kind of annoying, right? Always having to drag all the way in the top right corner, especially if something is over here. You can see this is a pretty far drag that you need to do. So you can actually just attack here or here. Like, if you want to attack over here, it will still attack the hero. Now, it doesn't work that I can just, like, anything in this area will only attack the things in this area or target things in this area. But if I want to go up here, anything here, this is all the hero. Like, if you want to attack the flower, that's what the flower is there for, right? So you can kind of just, like, look at this and attack the flower if you want. Or you just kind of, like, what I tend to do is just kind of drag up like this. You know, just kind of super nice, super convenient, just gets it done. So again, it's just kind of like immediately trying to streamline this a little bit while we're going along with it. So yeah, anyway, go ahead and activate this, see if we can maybe discard this fella. Very good. Now, what happens in the different acts? Well, as before, heroes have a mana pool and 2 abilities. An active and a passive usually, but not always. Right? Some heroes will have 2 passive abilities, some heroes will have 2 active abilities. In Act 1, you start with those 2 available. That's just something you always have. Act 2 changes things up a little bit by making it so... Wait, let me go play some cards here, you know? Like, we want to go ahead and start pushing into Act 2. Oh, yeah, it's getting there. In Act 2, things change up a little bit, because in Act 2, both players have access to 2 additional mana on each of their turns. So you can see this has now unlocked for our opponent up in this corner, and now it has unlocked for us in this corner. We can click on these, and you can see that we are given neutral colored mana. So this is a sort of natural ramp to the game, where it will automatically speed itself up once you enter into Act 2. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I had something way more interesting planned originally for Act 2, but I had this huge design, like super fancy, where it's like you had different, like what I call channels, like different abilities you unlocked based on the first 3 mana. That's why in this UI currently you can see how the first 3 mana have this special highlighting, right? But I ended up testing it, and it worked out, like it didn't work out that well. The main problem with it that it was just really difficult to understand. It was a bit overwhelming. In fact, it was so overwhelming that, like, I kept telling I explained my team multiple times how it works, and they still didn't quite understand it. And I don't mean to blame them for that. That's just to show that it was just too much. It was just too complicated. And it also, in a way, felt redundant, because a lot of the effects that I was using for it, there wasn't really a reason to use it for that particular thing instead of just putting them on cards, and so on. So that was kind of like the thing there, right? Instead, what I had tested just kind of as like a idea, right? Just kind of let's see if this does anything. We tried out what happens if you just make it so that you have 2 more mana available in Act 2. And this may sound really simple, right? But it actually was just really interesting. It made it so that in Act 2, you all of a sudden had access to just a lot more resources. You can use your hero abilities much more freely. You can use your, permanent abilities much more freely. You can fit in a few more cards to play. And it made it so that in Act 2, the game really sped up and everything became really, really hectic in a way. Not really hectic, but just a lot more action-packed. And I really liked that. And it ended up turning out super nicely. It's also much easier to understand if I just tell you have more mana in Act 2, right? So it's nice and easy in that way. And it's something that just kind of, again, made a lot of sense. and also solved this problem I was encountering. And yeah, in Act 3, the game accelerates even a little bit more and makes it so that you get access to a one-time ultimate. And by one time, I mean one time most of the time, not always, but generally speaking, ultimates can only be used once, right? You only get that in Act 3. And then in Act 3, your hero basically has a third ability that is just, yeah, now we can go, and do something crazy, something dangerous, something powerful. And yeah, in that way, it feels really neat now. Like there's this kind of natural progression through an early, mid, and late game as you go through the game. And honestly, I really like the current system. I think it's strong. I think it's a lot of fun to play. And importantly, unlike what I came up with before, it is intuitive, which is something that, is also quite valuable. Let me go and grab this. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm trying to get us into Act 3, which is taking a little bit. Please keep in mind, we're playing against the bot. The bots aren't exactly the most competent. They are, however, the least competent. So that makes things just a little bit slower in this regard. But you can see right here, for example, like I do not have enough mana. Here we go. Now I can use this, right? And that way I have mana available to actually play some stuff. I also quite like how this frame for the landmarks is looking. I think that's pretty nice. Anyway, I'm sure you've noticed there's a bit more new artwork. I'll take you through it in a second, and by a bit I mean a lot. There's a lot more new artwork. Yeah, I'll take you through it, let you have a look. Anyway, I'm going to just play some stuff, I guess. Should be... Yeah, there we go. Now we're in Act 3, right? And now that we're in Act 3, we're going to gain access to our ultimate ability, which... or maybe we don't. Again, please, it's work in progress. It's still work in progress. Right, I guess the ultimate ability thing maybe that used to work. I'm a little surprised that isn't working right now. Anyway, we have a lot of birds. Look at all of my birds. That's where the game is now. It's been quite a bit of a change in terms of like how the things work, but I think it's been very positive. It makes it a lot more unique, a lot more distinct of a game, while not necessarily pushing it too far into an overwhelming direction that might take away from the core of the game that I personally always felt was really nice. I always really enjoyed the simplicity of the things and how familiar things felt, and that was honestly kind of a goal. And now we have managed, hopefully, to keep that feeling, but also making the game feel a lot more distinct and unique. Oh no, I lost. So anyway, you can see here, this is our work in progress Battle Pass UI.
Hi, welcome back. Isn't the forest so beautiful at night time?
Yes, all is very beautiful, isn't it? All is very beautiful. So if we go into our deck builder here, you can see that there is, there's some artwork here, right? Like we have really been working hard on getting more and more artwork created. And something that we have also really tried to work towards is we want to make sure that the artwork feels like more, it's, it's more uniform. It more follows certain style guidelines and so on. So we've been paying attention to that. I'm just trying to say that honestly, like we take your criticism seriously. Like when you tell us, okay, here's something that I think could use some improvement and so on, then we actually listen and we actually do our best to make those improvements. I like the mana drone. It's my favorite. I find it very funny. Also like this guy. I'm not really sure how this scenario happened, but I guess it did. Kind of funny. But yeah, we also have some more serious ones. Like this one is definitely a little bit spooky. Oh, and this one is that one is definitely a bit of a favorite as well. Quite like this one. It is scary. Anyway. Yeah. Again, it's just art is being developed. Game is continuing to move forward. And there's a lot happening, right? Hopefully next week, not next week, next month, I'll be able to show you guys a match against another player with a bunch of new cards. There's some really cool new cards that are coming up that are going to be using our new mechanics, and I think you'll really like it. For now, let me go ahead and show you some like plans. I already showed you this right here. But this is going to be the store page, right? Just kind of like nice and clean, shows you what everything is like. I think this is a big improvement over what we had before. It's just a bit nicer. This right here will be the hero page, where you then have space for the hero abilities and so on, making it a lot easier to read and understand what the heroes do. This right here will be our Battle Pass UI. Of course, Battle Pass will be available in the game. There will be a free one. There will also be a paid one. The free one, of course, having less available, but you'll be able to still unlock quite a bit of stuff. And this right here is our little inventory. I also would like to show you guys a bunch of completed alternate artwork. So here we have, this is one that I quite like a lot. This is an alternate artwork for the card Vanguard Recruiter. This is one for Hex Painter. You can see that they have different styles. That's definitely something we're doing. With alternate artwork, we want to make sure to have lots of different styles so it can appeal to lots of different people. This right here is one for the Egotist. So you can see this one is definitely quite a bit different. But yeah, I like it a lot. And then finally here are we have this right here, the Gift of Inspiration, which I think is also quite unique. You can see it's really going into a very different direction with these, but that's again kind of the idea, to make sure that we have lots of different styles available for lots of different people. So yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. I'm really excited with where things are going. I'm very optimistic in terms of like the gameplay, because it feels really solid now. Like I spent a lot of time on trying to figure out the act system, and it turns out that the simplest placeholder solution that I had like asked feels really dumb. It feels a little dumb, right? I spent hours, days trying to like design these cool, intricate Act 2 systems. And then just giving people 2 extra mana is much more fun. Right? It just feels a little silly. But that's how it worked out. That's why you need to playtest everything. And that's why we playtest everything. Right? But important thing is, in those moments, it is easy to just kind of slip into this trap of wanting to like stick to your design until the end. But no. It didn't work. So we got rid of it. And now we're going with the simple thing. And then we can just work with the simple thing. And then if we come up with a better solution along the way, we can just go with that one. Right? That's the thinking there. So, finally, I've got a question that I would like to, I would like to do just a few questions. Somebody has asked, hey, Bobby, do the question. Wait, there we go. I don't know if anyone asked the question, but how long will it take for the rewards of the Kickstarter to start being shipped? So we have, for the Kickstarter, we have fully compiled all of the physical merchandise rewards. That's all fully, the data has been fully compiled and it's been sent off to the manufacturer. Now it's up to them. They will probably start manufacturing and shipping it as soon as possible. I can't really give you an exact time right now because we don't quite know yet. Right? I just don't know yet. But all of the data has been finished since last week. So it's not been that long, but there's a lot of data. It takes a little while. So we had to compile all of it. We have sent it off now. And then hopefully things are going to be shipped fairly soon. This doesn't usually take that long. And yeah. Will the locked premium battle pass progress and unlock everything earned before it, or will it only start progressing after you bought it? No, so it works like pretty much most like free/premium battle pass systems, which is you can level it up even if you don't buy it. If you do buy it, you level up a little bit quicker, and then if you buy it at any point, then you can get unlock everything that you would have had up to that point. So it's very, very simple, right? But it feels like a good, fair system. I personally, I think it's just something that just works pretty well, right? And it's not required for anything. If you don't want the battle pass, you don't have to buy it. Idea for battle pass name? Honestly, not right now. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. GM is the currency. What does it stand for? Grams. Gold money. No, usually gold is the currency. But that doesn't really make sense. I don't pay somebody in 1,000 gold. What? So it was, I don't know. It's what we call it right now. In all likelihood, it's probably gonna be crowns. Like, it'll probably change to crowns at some point. It's just right now it's GM. For really no reason. But that's just a text change, right? But yeah. Bebu dollars. That sounds like a good one. Okay. So yeah. That's where we're currently at with the game. I hope you guys are excited for it. We will start with the closed alpha testing pretty soon. Like, honestly, as far as the schedule is concerned, we are on schedule. That's it. It's just on schedule. Like, it's just totally possible. Everything is looking fine. Everything is looking possible. It's not like we are, tightly on schedule either. We are well on schedule to make everything happen. Yeah, so I'm pretty optimistic about that as well. I don't know. These videos are always so hard to make. I don't know why it's so hard, but it is really hard. Okay. Next month will hopefully include some proper gameplay against other players. Again, right now that's just a little bit sketch. But that's because it's all very in the middle of development. But yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. Goodbye.